Whitman, both founders of Worth Unlimited. I'm Spencer Clausen. I am the CEO of the company. And now we're going to turn the time over in just a second to Jason Brown, our VP of Sales and Marketing. And those of you who have listened to Jason over the last couple of weeks know his passion and his experience as a past agent, and certainly knowing the product very well. And we are appreciative and grateful to have him with us as well. We are all dedicated to your success. We are working toward it, and we welcome you all again on this call, and we'll turn the time now over to Jason.
Thanks, Spence. Can you hear me okay? Spence, are you there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Wouldn't be the first time that I was talking and nobody could hear me. So, well, listen, I know we have people on the phone tonight from all over the country, so I sure appreciate your time. And what we're going to do is introduce you to a company called Worth Unlimited and a little bit of our background and where we come from. The product that we market is called the Worth account. The best way to describe what the Worth account is to compare it to a GPS or navigation system for a car. Okay, if you've ever got in a car that had a navigation system, you type in where you want to go, and it gives you turn-by-turn instructions on how to get there, and it's constantly recalculating. If you make a wrong turn or you miss an exit, what to do? It recalculates. It guides you how to get back on track. Well, guys, let me ask you, do you think it would be valuable to have a tool that did the exact same thing for you, but financially? Okay, a program that looked at your entire financial situation today and guided you mathematically the fastest way to zero and how to pay the least amount of interest possible on your debt, and it reconfigured with every transaction. And if December came along where every single person in our country overspends, it recalculates on a wrong turn financially and again guides us how to get back on track. And that's what the Worth account is. And I'm going to get a little more in depth into how the program works and a little bit about interest cancellation, but let me give you some background on our company. You know, we started in the mortgage industry back in the late 90s, and we're very successful, became one of the fastest growing companies in the state of Utah. But early on in business, we started to see a lot of repeat customers. Now, in most industries, that's a good thing, right? Repeat business. But in the mortgage industry, when somebody's coming back to refinance their home year after year or every other year, it's usually not because they're in a good situation, but because they've accumulated more debt. And they have to use the equity in their home to keep their head above water. And of course, that goal of getting their home paid off gets further and further away until it becomes pretty much non-existent. And so again, the founders of our company heard about a concept that was being used in Australia and parts of Europe that would take whatever time somebody had left on their mortgage and cut it in 1/2 to 1/3 that time using the same budget that the homeowner had been using all along. They spent a couple years in research and development, and they took that concept from Australia and converted it to the way that U.S. banks and lenders charge interest on homes. And guys, they developed it into a software program that takes the homeowner by the hand and walks them through how to do it. That's probably the best part about the Worth account, is that you do not have to be a mortgage specialist. You don't have to understand interest or Excel spreadsheets to follow the system. If you can log onto the computer and use a mouse, it's point and click. So they had the finished product in 2005. They didn't want to just throw it out there and start selling it, so they wanted to test it first. They chose Denver, Colorado as a test market, and they sold about 400 Worth accounts. After about a year and a half test market, the average homeowner was already 20% ahead of their projected payoff. So if they got on the program thinking they were going to have everything paid off in 8 years, within 1 year they were already 20% ahead of that schedule. And that's because the program starts to develop a discipline in the homeowner, and it's almost an unconscious discipline, and you'll see what I mean by that. But again, over the next few years, it was quite a ride. They had grown, they went literally viral across the country. Had tens of thousands of people purchase the program. In fact, in 2008, Ernst & Young, one of the largest financial service firms in the world, awarded the Entrepreneur of the Year award to the founders of the company. Guys, this is a pretty prestigious award. It is, again, given out one time a year. There's different categories, one of which is financial services, and so it's definitely something we're proud of. You know, and as a company, or excuse me, as a product, we're looking to accomplish three things. Number one is help people pay their home off. Now, when we first came out with the product, the only thing it worked on was mortgage debt, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but do people have other debt besides their mortgage? Most people do. You know what? In fact, almost everybody we talk to does. And so the version of the software that you're going to see today actually pays it all off. House payment, or mortgages, credit cards, vehicles, student loans, any type of amortized debt. And then the third thing we accomplish is to provide you with some coaching and some education and some wealth building. And so guys, if you're on the call tonight looking at a potential opportunity, what we're going to do is we're going to run through the program, how the product works, and then at the end we're going to show you what type of opportunity there is to come on as an agent and potentially share the program with other people. So what I want you to do though is I'm going to run through a presentation that really helps you get your mind wrapped around what our software does. But what I want you to keep in mind is that you never have to actually give this presentation. We've had a couple people email in and go, wow, this thing's amazing, but there is just no way that I could sell it, or there's no way I could give the presentation I just saw. The beauty of our marketing plan is that you don't have to. Okay, I'll get into that in a minute, but for the next 20, 25 minutes, again, just try and get your mind wrapped around what our program does. You know, mortgage payoff. Most people, and some of you on the phone tonight might be exceptions to the rule, but most people know next to nothing about their mortgage. Okay, I come from the mortgage industry, and when I was putting somebody into a home loan, they typically wanted to know two things. What's my interest rate and what's my monthly payment? And if they have an idea what both of those are, they're good to go. Well, guys, I'm going to give you a 30-second mortgage basics class, okay? Let's say we have a $200,000 mortgage at a 6% interest rate. Over 30 years, which is 360 months, that payment would be $1199.10. Okay, that's the actual payment for those terms. So let's say month one, we send in our payment of $1199.10. $199 of that payment goes to principal. $1,000 goes to interest. Right? Month two, $200 of our payment goes to principal, $999 interest. So we increase the principal portion of our house payment by $1. We're really pounding down that mortgage, right? After 1 year, check this out. We've made $14,000 in house payments to pay down the principal of the home, $2,400. Guys, let me ask you a question, and I realize I have people on the phone from all over the country tonight, but let's say you bought a home today for $200,000, and 5 years from now, so in the 5th year, you sold the home for $250,000. How do you feel you did? You know, most people go, I did okay, right? Not too bad. Well, let's look. 5 years into your mortgage, you made $71,000 in house payments to pay down the principal of the loan, $13,000. Guys, if you sold that house for $250,000, what just happened? You lost money in the situation. Okay, even with the tax deduction, the tax write-off of interest paid, you still don't break even. You know, some people think after the 15th year on a 30-year mortgage, we're what? Halfway there, right? Well, guys, it's actually 21 years in before you hit the halfway point. But we've made over $300,000 in house payments, so we've paid for the house 1.5 times over, and how much do we still owe on the mortgage? We still owe $100,000. Guys, it's not till, we just now hit halfway point, it's not till the 21st through 30th year that you actually have more of your house payment going to principal on a monthly basis than you did to interest. Now, if we took that loan to term, we would pay back $431,677 on a $200,000 mortgage. Now, guys, I did this presentation the other day for a gentleman, older guy, real funny guy, and he said, yeah, but my wife always wanted a $400,000 house. Well, in this case, she's probably going to get it, right? But guys, what I want you to understand is this is loan amortization. log onto the internet, Google loan amortization calculator, type in 200,000, 6%, 30-year, and it's going to show you these exact numbers. Even though a mortgage is probably the biggest investment most people make in their entire life, it is not structured in your favor. It takes so long to even begin to get ahead. Now, let me show you how the worth account works on this same example. Let's pretend, and now this is a big pretend, okay? Let's pretend that in month 1 of this loan, we could afford to add $5,000 to the payment. Not every month, just one time. We send in $61.99. Let's see how that affects the loan. We get a statement in the mail the next month, and we now owe $195,000. So it worked, right? It knocked $5,000 off the principal. We're still at a 6% interest rate. That didn't change. How about our monthly payment? Did that change? No, it's still $1199.10. Okay, now we were scheduled to pay for how many months on that mortgage? Do you remember? 360. But that one $5,000 principal payment just canceled 23 months or 2 years house payments off our loan. The interest we were scheduled to pay was $231,677. But again, that one $5,000 principal payment we made in month 1 just canceled $28,304 of scheduled interest off the loan. Even if we don't count the $5,000 we sent in, that's a net savings of $23,304 in interest, guaranteed. Guys, if you send $5,000 in on a $200,000 mortgage at 6%, you save 2 years worth of house payments and $23,000 in interest instantly. Now, I realize this looks good on paper, right? But if you're like me, you're thinking, well, there's one problem with this in real life. Who has $5,000 to send in? And even if you did, let's say you have it in a savings account as an emergency fund, would you actually send it in on your mortgage? Probably not, because what if you need it, right? What if something happens the next month, your car breaks down, you need new tires, whatever it is, you can't get it back. Actually, there is one way to get it back, right? Refinance, cash out, refi, pull the $5,000 out, lose the $23,000 in interest savings, and start the whole process over. Now, guys, this is not the worth account, but this is the system that we use. I just wanted to show you how one lump payment to principal, how much time it cancels off the mortgage, and how much interest it saves. So do me a favor, put this example in the back of your mind. I'm going to refer back to it here in just a few minutes. Now, there's a couple different ways of following our program. When we first came out with the software back in 2005, the program required that you got a home equity line of credit. Now, again, back then you had to have one, but that was okay because everybody could get them. It didn't matter if you were upside down in your house. The bank was giving out lines of credit to pretty much anybody. But what's it like today? They're almost non-existent. Okay, so we've had to work and tweak the software to the point where now it will work with any type of credit line. But guys, even if you don't have a line of credit, about 90 to 95% of the people that are purchasing our program today are doing it just using their current checking and savings account. So the software works just using these two accounts. Now, for me to help you get your mind wrapped around how this program works, I'm still going to show it using a home equity line of credit just because I want you to get the concept. But right at the end, I'll show you how it works using the checking and savings account, and it'll be an easy transition. Okay, so let's start out a $200,000 mortgage at a 6% interest rate. And let's say we could get a line of credit, and I call it an advanced line of credit, in the amount of $10,000. So we have zero balance, but there's a $10,000 credit line. Guys, what we're going to do with this line of credit is we're going to use it just like our primary checking account. So we're going to pay all of our bills from this account. So we're going to make our house payment, car payment, cell phone, groceries, utilities, entertainment. Any money we're going to spend in the month, we pull it out of our credit line. So the balance starts to go up. But as soon as we get a paycheck, what are we going to do with it? We're going to put it into that account. It's going to knock that balance right back down. Every time the balance on that line of credit gets close to zero, the software kicks in, the Worth Account software kicks in and prompts you to do what's called a funds transfer. It's going to prompt you to pull a sum of money from the line of credit and send it over to the principal on the first mortgage. So in this example, it's prompting us to do a funds transfer of $5,000. We literally just hop online or write a check from our credit line and send it over to the principal on the first mortgage. Now, guys, think back. What does $5,000 do to a $200,000 mortgage at 6%? We just canceled 2 years' house payments and $23,000 in interest immediately. Now, when I saw this the first time, I said, yeah, but you guys still owe $5,000 over here. All you did was create one debt to pay off another. Guys, when we show you that your home's paid off in 7, 8, 10, 12 years, not only is the first mortgage paid off, so is the line of credit. Now, how does the line of credit get paid down? Because we're depositing our paycheck into this account throughout the month. Now, it might take us 2 or 3 months of paying our bills and depositing our income to get that line of credit back down close to zero. But as soon as it gets close to zero, what happens? The software kicks in and prompts us to do another funds transfer. So it does another big chunk, boom, over the first mortgage. So the line of credit goes up a little bit, takes us 2 or 3 months to get it paid back down. As soon as it gets close to zero, what happens? It does it again. So every couple, 3 months, the first mortgage is starting to get hammered down by big chunks. And it's canceling tens of thousands of dollars in interest every time we do it. And guys, it's just costing us pennies in interest over here because the line of credit is just hovering down around zero. So to help this sink in, again, sometimes just seeing the month by month helps it make a little more sense. Let's take a sample family and run through a monthly scenario. Let's say they make $5,000 a month in income and that we spend $4,000 a month in bills. Okay, now that's everything, guys. House payment, car payment, cell phone, groceries, everything. So that leaves us, this family, about $1,000 of discretionary income a month. I realize, yes, most American families do not have $1,000 left over at the end of every month. I'm just going to use these round numbers to show the software. The program works for people that have as little as $20 or $50 a month of discretionary income, okay? So month one, the first thing the homeowner is going to purchase is the actual software. Now, guys, for years, the program sold for one flat fee of $3,500. The program today is actually, the cost of the program is dependent on how much we're going to save you. So we just had one person purchase the program yesterday, and it cost her $750. But again, the most the program can cost someone right now is $34.95. So I'm going to kind of say worst case scenario, we end up paying the maximum for the program. So that's the first thing that comes out of our line of credit in month one is $3,500. So we're going to start with that balance owed. But it's the beginning of the month. So what else do we have to do? We've got to pay bills. We've got to buy groceries and pay our cell phone and make our car payment, and all our monthly expenses come out. That raises the balance on our line of credit up to $7,500. Are you with me? So we're at $7,500 balance owed on the credit line, but we also deposit what? We get paid throughout the month, so we deposit our paycheck against that balance. It lowers the balance on the line of credit to $2,500. This is an open-ended line of credit, meaning even though we used $7,500 out of the account, the bank can only charge us interest on the $2,500. Even if we were at a 10% interest rate, okay, which lines of credit today are typically 2 to 3%, but let's say we were at a 10% rate. 10% times $2,500 divided by 12 is $20.83. Okay, that's what the amount of interest we would pay on the line of credit that month. But again, we don't send an extra check for $20. We already sent the bank $5,000. They take that as a payment. Okay, so let's take the $2,500 balance and roll it over to month two. And guys, we're just going to continue living our life as normal. $4,000 go out in living expenses. That raises the balance to $6,500. $5,000 comes in income. That lowers the balance to $1,500. We get charged interest at 10%. We pay $12.50. Let's go to the next month. We carry the $1,500 balance over to month 3, spend $4,000 in living expenses. Now, don't forget, guys, the $4,000 includes the house payment. You still have to make that every month, okay? So the balance is up to $5,500, but we deposit our paycheck in there throughout the month. We're down to $500. Now, guys, this is where it starts to get exciting. We're almost down to 0 on the line of credit. What is getting ready to happen? The software kicks in and says, okay, let's do a funds transfer. Let's pull $3,675.77 from the credit line and send it over to the mortgage. Now, the balance on the line of credit goes back up to $41.75.77. That's what we get charged interest on, $34.80 at 10%. Okay, we've been on the program now for 3 months. It's cost us $68.13 in interest on the credit line over a 3-month time frame. But guys, let me ask you a question. When we move that $3,600 from our credit line and sent it over to the first mortgage, what part of the mortgage did that money go to? It was applied directly to principal because we had already made the house payment for the month. We already paid all the interest. And $36.75.77, when applied to a $200,000 mortgage at 6%, cancels $17,249 of interest off the loan, which is actually 18 house payments that you will never have to make. They're gone. If we look at the amortization schedule again, we started at 360 months. We're only 3 months in, and we're down to 339 months left. Remember, the principal portion of our house payment was increasing at $1 a month? Well, from month 3 to month 4, it just jumped ahead $19. So guys, some people think, well, $19, is that really that big a deal? I don't know, you tell me. How long would it have taken you of making your monthly house payment to get to the point where you had an extra $19 going to principal? A year and a half, okay? And we owe $195.7 on the loan. So here on the first mortgage. Now here's what we owe on our line of credit. So we're going to carry that over to month 4 and just to start the process over. Nothing changes about our lifestyle. We're making the same amount of money, spending the same amount of money. So $4,000 comes out, $5,000 comes in. What's starting to happen to the line of credit? It's starting to get paid back down by our discretionary income. So we're down to $2,000 after month 5. Again, spending 4, depositing 5. It's costing us, $20, $25 a month in interest on the line of credit. Month 6, $4,000 comes out, $5,000 goes in. We're back down to a $1,000 balance on the line of credit. We're almost down to 0. What's getting ready to happen? Exactly. Another funds transfer kicks in. This time the software tells us to move $2,920.23 from the line of credit. So we send that over to the first mortgage. That amount goes 100% to principal, and it cancels another $12,200 of scheduled interest on the loan, which is another 14 house payments. Guys, wrapping up 6 months. We've been on the program for 6 months. It's cost us $146.85 in interest on the credit line, okay? But we've canceled $29,500 in scheduled interest. Please understand, that's money that you were going to have to pay on the loan. In other words, that's 37 house payments that you're no longer on the hook for. They're gone. If we look at the amortization schedule again, we're 6 months in, we're down to 323 months left. The principal portion of the house payment just increased again another $15 in 1 month. And guys, I'm going to tell you, this whole process starts to get addicting to you as a homeowner. I have people that I put on this program 5 and 6 years ago that still call me or email me once a year or once every other year just to tell me where they're at on the payoff of their debt and their home. And I've actually got a lady from my hometown in Colorado actually looks forward to getting her mortgage statement in the mail every month because she can't wait to see how much of the principal she's paid down. it starts to get exciting. And we owe $192,000 on the loan. So we've paid down the principal on the mortgage about $8,000 in 6 months. Now, guys, hopefully you're starting to get the concept. I'm going to go ahead and rather than going through month 8, 9, 10, 11, I'm going to go ahead and skip to the end of the year and just show you what it would look like. As you can see in month 9, another funds transfer came. You know, let me point one more thing out, though, before we get to month 12. Let's say in month 11, we overspent. Okay, I know no one on this call has ever done that before, but let's say that in month 11 we made $5,000, but we spent $6,000. Okay, in real life, our software aside, in real life, if you do that, what happens to you? You're overdrawn, or that money had to come from somewhere. You had to pull it from savings, or you had to put it on a credit card. Well, guys, let's go back to our software. Month 11. The software realizes, hey, we overspent. Chances are we were going to do a funds transfer next month, right? We might still do it. It's just going to be a smaller amount. Because just like that GPS in your car, the program reconfigures based on what you actually did in real time and adjusts accordingly. If we really overspent, it might push that funds transfer back another couple weeks until you have another paycheck at the line of credit to pay it down to the optimal level. Now, guys, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you repeatedly overspend every month, but if it happens a month here or there, it doesn't completely throw you off track. Okay, so month 12, here we are. We're back down to a $1,000 balance. We know what's getting ready to happen. A funds transfer kicks in. Again, the software tells you to the penny for your situation. So this number is going to be different for everybody. In fact, it's going to be different every time it prompts for you because your finances are never going to be the same from month to month. Okay, the funds transfer in month 12 goes right to principal on the mortgage and cancels another $10,000 in scheduled interest. Guys, if you'll notice that the interest canceled is getting a little less every time because we're further along the amortization schedule, so there's less interest to cancel. Month 12, that's 14 more months cancel off the mortgage. So wrapping it up, guys, we've been on the program for 12 months. It's cost us $297 in interest on the credit line over the course of a year to cancel $50,800 of scheduled interest off the loan, which is actually 53 house payments that we'll never have to make. Now, guys, you remember that gentleman I told you about in the beginning of the presentation, the one that said his wife wanted a $400,000 mortgage? Well, at this point in the presentation, he said, so you're telling me I can take the last 53 coupons out of my payment book and tear them off and throw them away, meaning I will never have to make these payments? Absolutely, that's what we're saying. They're gone. Guys, even if you stop using the program at this time, do those 53 payments come back? No, they don't. Unlike a gym membership where you lose a bunch of weight and you see all these great results and then you stop going, you put it right back on, that is not the case with our program. Once you shed that extra weight and that extra interest, it's gone no matter what. Now, we're down to 295 months left if we stop the program right now, but again, we're going to keep using it. The principal portion of the house payment increased over the course of the year almost $76. So guys, not only paying it off faster on the back end, canceling principal and interest, we're paying it off faster on the front end as well because more of our house payments go into principal every month. And we owe $184,000 on the mortgage. So guys, it took us 1 year to pay down the mortgage, almost 16 grand, a little over 15 grand. Do you realize what we would still owe on our mortgage if we were just making the regularly scheduled house payment, which is what 98% of Americans do? We'd still owe $197,500. It would take us 5.5 years to accomplish what we did in 1 year using the Worth program. The payoff on this account or on this example is 10.4 years. That's the first mortgage and the line of credit versus 30 years. That's a savings of $160,000 in interest. Now, guys, to be honest with you, you're going to save a lot more than that because most people don't pay it off in 30 years. What do they do every 4th or 5th year? They just continue to refinance and they stay in that vicious circle, okay? Guys, here's a snapshot of the actual software. Across the top, and this is why we call it a GPS, is it literally has your finances on autopilot. It's telling you what you're on track to be paid off. Now, my wife and I, this is the most addicting window of the entire program for us because that number is constantly changing. Every time you make a transaction, whether it's a deposit or whether it's a withdrawal, the program reconfigures itself and you know where you're at. It tells us interest remaining. Now, if you click this little plus sign, there's about 10 different things you can choose from, you know, up here if you want to customize it for you a little bit. One cool thing is the Add New Action button, because what if something comes up in the month, or guys, let's say this even better. Let's say we're at 9.3% and we want to buy something. Guys, out here in Utah, we get a ton of snow, so let's say that we're going to buy a new snowmobile. Okay, and it's going to cost us $7,000. Before we buy it, we can log onto our program, hit Add New Action, tell it how much we're going to spend, and it will tell us how much time it's going to add to our payoff, how much extra interest it's going to cost you. In other words, it's going to tell us the true cost. Now, if you don't want to know the true cost, you just unselect that box and it goes away, as we have here. All right. Now, my wife, she always unchecks it. I always log back on and check it. Again, the program doesn't tell you what to do. You tell the software what you did, and it just shows you the results. Okay. Again, a couple other benefits and uses of the program: live text messaging interactions, live transaction updates. Guys, if you go to the grocery store, you spend $25 on your credit card, by that evening, sorry about that, by that evening, it shows up executed in your software. You know, and again, all these things are pretty cool, but look, my mom is on this program. Do you think she uses the text messaging features and transaction updates? Absolutely not. Guys, the software just needs to know two things: how much money's coming in and how much money's going out, and it does the rest for you. Now, the cool thing is, guys, is it tracks your budget. So you know where every penny is going. I can't tell you how many analysis and how many clients we show, and they make good money, and yet they still feel like they don't have anything left over at the end of the month, which is amazing to me. And one of the things that they benefit the most from the software is now every penny is caught in the net. It doesn't slip through the cracks, and the software makes sure that everything's working in your favor. Not the bank. So, guys, in our first 3 years, we paid down over $400 million in principal on debt. And guys, it's snowballing. It's growing exponentially. Pretty soon we'll do that in a year. Pretty soon that'll be our monthly number. All right, that's what's exciting about it. Now, again, most people, hopefully you guys on the phone understand how the program works on a mortgage, but most people don't just have a mortgage. Their situation looks a little more like this, right? Maybe a mortgage, maybe a second mortgage, 2 or 3 credit cards. If you live in Utah, you have an RC Willie's account. That's a big furniture dealer here. You got a vehicle or two. And what's funny is every debt expert in the world has their strategy on how you should pay this down. You guys have heard of Dave Ramsey, right? Does a great job. He's got tons of books and CDs. It's, you know, believe me, his plan or philosophy is, look, take your extra money, if it's $1,000, if it's $500, if it's $100, and put it here on this debt. Why? Out of all these debts, why this one? Well, because it's the lowest balance, and it's going to get paid off first, and then you'll move it over to this one, and it gets paid off first. So you're seeing some gratification. Well, Susie Orman and John Commuta, they say, no. If you got any extra money at the end of the month, you put it here on this one. Why? Well, because it's the highest interest rate. And then go to the next highest interest rate. That's going to save you the most money. Guys, if you step back and look at these, isn't it just a mathematical equation? Isn't it just math that would tell you the order in which to pay all this off? It is. But guess what? You're not going to do all that math every single month and every single time you get a paycheck. But guess what will, guys? The software. The software takes every characteristic of each one of your debts. So it does look at the balance. It takes in the term. Is it a 5-year loan, a 10-year, a 15-year? It takes into account the interest rate as well, but what's the minimum monthly payment, and how's that calculated, and when's it due? And have you ever had a loan that the rate adjusted on you? Well, sure, it might have started at 0%, but then it shot up to 18%. Well, the software is going to adjust as your balances and payments and interest rates adjust as well. So guys, wrapping it up, let me show you just kind of a review of how the program works. Now, I'm kind of a visual guy, so this hopefully will really kind of cement your understanding here. We have a line of credit here. Now, the balance is up because we just paid bills, right? We just made our house payment, car payment, all that stuff. Income comes in. Now, we get a direct deposit from our job into our checking account. We hop online and we roll it right over into the line of credit, and it lowers the balance. Next month, same thing. Income comes in. We roll it over into our line of credit. It pays the balance down. Now, look at this. It took us a couple months, but we're paid down to the optimal transfer point. We're almost down to 0 on the line of credit. What is getting ready to happen? A funds transfer. The software tells us the day to do it, the amount to move, but guys, check this out. We have more debt than just the mortgage. So in the beginning, those funds transfers may not go to the mortgage. They might actually go to one of the other debts. In this example, it went to the motorcycle. And so that $200 a month motorcycle, well, excuse me, 2 or 3 more funds transfers and that motorcycle's what? Paid off. And that $200 a month motorcycle payment we have been making is now more discretionary income. And so what happens to those funds transfers? They start to get bigger and more often because we have freed up more money. So the next time the fund transfer might go to the vehicle, it might go to the mortgage. If you have other debt, credit cards, it might go to those. The software tells you the day to do it, the amount to move, and which debt to move it to. Okay, so guys, hopefully you at least have your mind wrapped around the program. If it doesn't make sense to you, watch this presentation again. We have it recorded in the back office. Get with the person who invited you on the call to watch it again. But let me show you how it works using a checking and a savings account. Like I mentioned, the majority of people are unable to get lines of credit today, and so the program works just using a checking and a savings account. And these aren't special checking and savings. These are the same ones you have right now. The first thing the software is going to have you do is set a minimum reserve. Tell the program how much money you always want in your checking and savings account, and it will never have you drop below those amounts. Okay, so if we told the software we want $500 in our checking account and $5,000 in our savings account, if we don't have $5,000 in there, what's it going to do? It's going to build it for us and then start working on debt, okay? Now, here's how it works. It works the exact same way as it did with the line of credit. The income comes into our checking account, except for we don't have a line of credit now, so we just have to pay all of our expenses with our own money. Now, we might put it on a credit card throughout the month and then pay it off at the end of the month, but whatever's left over, that discretionary income we talked about, whether it's 500, 1,000, 100, whatever it is, gets kicked over into the savings account and starts to build a balance. The next month, same thing. Income comes in, we pay our bills, the discretionary income gets kicked over here. So guys, remember on the line of credit, our discretionary income was paying down the balance? Well, it's the exact same, just opposite. Now our discretionary income is building a balance. And in the same amount of time it would have taken us to pay it down, we built enough money to do what? A funds transfer. The software kicks in, tells us the day to do it, the amount to move, and again, just like before, to which debt to send it to. I think this month it actually goes to the vehicle. Now, some people say, well, guys, is there a benefit to using a line of credit versus a checking and a savings account? Not really. I mean, yeah, you get to take advantage of the interest float on a line of credit, but you are also paying a little bit of interest, even though it's minimal, so they almost cancel each other out. If we run a scenario, you might pay a month or two pay off a month or two sooner using the line of credit. But guys, again, the software looks at the tools you have, and that's what it uses to help you get paid off. Okay. Guys, the last thing before we actually go into the agent stuff is we provide you with software and coaching and education. And I don't know if you guys have seen, you know, it's real big right now, and it has been maybe the last 5 to 10 years. There are these companies that sell coaching and education. Guys, we've all seen them. If you watch late night infomercials like me, how to invest in real estate and how to make money on eBay and how to do a home-based business and how to save money on your taxes. And these coaching packages that these guys sell are $10,000, $15,000. First of all, you have to call up and buy their kit for $500, and then they call you up a month later to try and sell you additional coaching. Guys, that's not how we do it. We put you on our program. All the coaching and the education is included, including updates to the software. Okay, that's just part of it. And you know, the concept of getting out of debt, people say, well, yeah, I'd love to be out of debt because I want to retire, I want to build wealth. Well, look at this. Let's say your home's paid off in 10.4 years, and our program, you had 30 years on your mortgage. We get you paid off in 10.4. That's going to save you 19.6 years worth of monthly house payments. You don't have to make those anymore. Imagine that, right? So what if you, as soon as your home was paid off, you took that $11.99 a month and your discretionary income, and you kept making that payment, but into an investment that was yielding interest instead of charging you interest. And if you could average a 6% return on that, again, you have just short of $1 million in the bank. You know, it's just amazing to me. I went to a mortgage seminar here in Salt Lake a few years back, and they said of the 65 million Americans that exist in our country today, they estimate that less than 5% will actually pay their home off. Guys, that's depressing to me. Do you realize that's 1 out of 20 people? Guys, so that means there's about 2 or 3 people on this call tonight who would actually pay their home off. Now, I'm willing to bet the majority of people getting on this call are going to be on this software, and so those numbers are going to change. But I'm telling you, we're on a mission to change that. And so if chances are what you're taking a look at today has an effect on you like most people, where literally your jaw is just open going, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't find this program 10 years ago. And the other thing that might be in your head is, man, I know a bunch of people that need this program. Guys, when I first found out about this software, I was working full-time as a loan officer in the mortgage industry, and it was a no-brainer. I said, oh my gosh, this thing's incredible. I put people into these 30-year loans. It would be so easy for me to share this with them and show them a way to pay it off early. And so I'm going to go in a little more into my story, but I want to talk to you about how you can take advantage of this opportunity and again, share this with other people and what type of income there is involved with that. Guys, when we first rolled out the product, the business model that we used, it was a great business model, but what made it great was the product. The hardest part about the business model was what the agent had to do. So you as the agent, first of all, you had to find somebody to share the program with, which is pretty easy. Who has debt, right? But then you had to give the presentation that I just gave. If that wasn't enough, you had to show them a demo of the software. You might have to answer all their questions, but you had to run an analysis for them. You had to take all their debt information, plug it into the software, and then you could tell them how much it saved them and how much, when everything would be paid off. And then you also had to collect payment from them. And sometimes that might be a little awkward if it was your neighbor or a family member. They may not want you to know some of the debt secrets and stuff that they have. And so, guys, that's one of the reasons this opportunity is so great. Look at this gal. Does she have a laptop on her lap? No, she's not giving a presentation or trying to close anything. All we do as agents today is refer people to the home office to take a look at our program. And when your referrals come in, we treat them with kid gloves, and we run them through and show them the program. We show them the presentation that you just saw. We show them a demo, answer their questions, run their analysis. We show them when everything will be paid off, how much interest it'll save them, and then the best part is we activate your client for you. So again, what does a worth agent do? Direct people to the home office to get a free worth analysis. All we want you to do is refer. That conversation literally might last 5 minutes. All you have to do is say enough to get the person's interest piqued. The conversation would probably go something like this. Hey, you know, again, I might be talking to somebody for a few minutes and then say, hey, listen, I don't know what your debt or your mortgage situation is, nor do I want to know, but I got to tell you, my wife and I found this program. It's absolutely incredible. It's taking our mortgage and all our debt, and we have 27 years left on our mortgage, and it's going to get it paid off in about 9 years. It's going to save us a ton of money in interest. You need to take a look at this thing. The person's going to say, well, what is it? How does it work? You know what? I'm not the best person to explain it to you. We just use it ourselves. You know, I don't work for the company, but look, it's kind of a financial GPS. It takes all your debt, and it tells you how to pay it all off in mathematically the fastest time possible. And the person's going to say, well, really? Well, how much does it cost? You know what? That's the best part. They actually base their fee off of how much they save you in interest. And again, they'll go over all that with you. I've referred a handful of people over to this company. They're great to work with. In fact, they only take appointments on referral only, which is pretty cool. So, you know, you ought to let me have them give you a call. Okay, guys, when you're referring, when you find something that you're excited about, referring people, it just comes natural. And again, I mean, think about it. You go to a good restaurant, read a good book, go to a movie, the first thing you do is you tell people about it. You tell family members. You're at work the next day, you tell people about it. It just happens. And then the other thing we do as a worth agent is we build a team that does the same. Are you required to build a team? Absolutely not. But I promise you, it'll happen whether you try or not. My first month as an agent with the company, I put 2 people on the software. Okay, and within a couple weeks, I hadn't even talked to them. Within a couple weeks of them using the program, they were calling me saying, hey, oh my gosh, this thing's amazing. I was telling my brother about it. He wants on it. My family members, my neighbors, my coworkers. People were asking me how they could refer people to the program before I even told them there was an opportunity there. Okay. So how do we get paid? Now Spence and John and Skylar, when they put together a compensation plan, guys, they did a ton of market research, and they took the most lucrative compensation plans in the industry, and they stole the best parts of them. They stole the parts that's yielding the most income and creating the most production, and they put together our compensation plan. So the first way we get paid is on our personal sales. And we really shouldn't even call it sales. Anytime you refer someone to the office and they get activated on the program, you make a commission. Now, agents I've talked to in the past few weeks, when we say, hey, you get paid a referral fee, they think, really, a referral fee like how much? 50 bucks, 100 bucks? Guys, it's pretty lucrative. It's anywhere between 15 to 30%. So in other words, anywhere from $500 to $1,100, depending on your rank with the company and how much volume you've put in during the month. So again, we're not just talking a couple bucks here. That's the first way we get paid, is on personal referrals, personal sales. Now we realize as a new agent, it's very important for you to come in and make money right away. And we want to lay out a roadmap for production. And so when somebody comes in and does 3 sales in a month, they get in another bonus pool on top, above and beyond what their personal sales are. They're going to get another check at the end of the month in a personal producer bonus pool, and I'll go into that more in a second. But again, from the beginning, your first 60 days are the most important in our company. Because, guys, we realize if you don't come in and make some good money in your first 30, 60 days, chances are you're not going to stick around. You might stick around because the product is so good, but we want you to start making some money. So we're going to add another 5% commission on all your personal production for your first 60 days, above and beyond that 15 to 30% you were going to get anyway. A mentor bonus, so if you do start to recruit and build a team, when you bring a new agent on their first 60 days, we're going to pay you the fast start bonus too. That extra 5% on their production for the first 60 days is going to go to you, because we realize you're going to be helping them. Guys, there's a ton of other, again, if you build an organization, you make overrides, advancement bonuses, and executive, every time you get a promotion, there's new bonuses. These guys are great on team incentives. We'll talk about those in just a second. But I mean, my wife and I took a cruise, all expenses paid, 7-day cruise in the Caribbean on these guys about 3 years ago. They had a sales competition that we qualified for. They ended up taking 300 people on that cruise. It was amazing. Now, guys, one of the things you'll realize about John Haakonstad, he's one of the founders of the company, is that he's an Excel spreadsheet guru, okay? John what he's done is he's taken our compensation plan and he's put it on an Excel spreadsheet, okay? And he's mapped it out for us to where we can type in here, if I refer this many people in a week and I have this many agents, and this is what my check's going to be, okay? So it's pretty cool. So we all start out as an agent with the company. And guys, I ask almost everybody when I show them this, how many people do you think you could talk to about this in a week? If you got excited about it, how many people do you feel like you could share this with? And almost every single person goes, I don't know, 1 a day, 2 a day, so 5 or 10. Well, let's say you just did 3. 1 on Monday, 1 on Wednesday, 1 on Friday. 3 in a week. We're not going crazy. We're not doing any kind of advertising or mass marketing. We just mentioned it to a handful of people in a week. Okay? Well, look, I put our closing percentage, our in-house closing percentage at 37%. That's 1 out of 3. Guys, we're actually, our in-house coaches are getting about 60 to 70% of the people that see the program today on the program. So you can almost double these numbers, but I just want to be conservative as we can. So let's say you refer 3 people in a week to the home office and only 37% of them get on the program. Guys, that month, we made $3,600. You actually make more than that because you make an extra 5%. Remember the Fast Start bonus? That's not included in this. So, again, just referring 3 people in a week, only 37% of them are buying throughout the month. It results in about 4.5 sales. We make $3,600. To go up through our compensation plan, we start to recruit. You don't have to recruit, but I promise you it takes on a life of its own. You refer people to this call, you take them to the back office, and they get excited about what they see. And let's say 3 people come onto the program. It might take us a month, might take us 2 months. There's no time limit on it, but that gets us a promotion to supervisor. So just recruiting 3 people gives us to the next level. We now pick up a 4% override on everything on our front level there. Let's say nobody's doing what we're doing, 3, and they're just doing 2. So 1 on Tuesday and 1 on Friday, and that's it. Nobody's going out and tearing it up. Guys, now we're making $4,500 a month. This might be our 2nd or 3rd month in the business. Guys, and we're doing this part-time. That might replace some people's full-time income. What's going to end up happening is you're going to start to see duplication. Again, let's say we recruit another 3 people, so now we have 6. Each of them's just referring 2. Nobody's even doing what we're doing, which is 3. We got a promotion to director now, so recruiting 6 agents gets us to director. We're now at $6,400 a month. Guys, that's about $75,000 a year, and we're just scratching the surface. Well, again, we talked about duplication. Let's say of those 6 people, 4 of them do nothing. They don't go out and recruit anybody else, but you know what? 2 of them, they're going to go get their 6 to become a director. So 2 of those people get 6. That gives you 12 people. We're going to say we're still just doing the minimum of talking to 2 people a week about this thing. That gives us a promotion to managing director. What that means is we got 2 directors underneath us. We become a managing director, and look at our income now. Guys, I'm telling you, I've been in this industry a long time. I've been in sales. I've been with selling this program a long time. I've never seen a compensation plan that is as lucrative and easy to advance in, okay? Some people, their mind shuts off at this point because that's $120,000 a year. Some people, again, most people have never made $100,000 in their life, and they go, oh my gosh, if I could make that, that would be life-changing for me. Well, guys, some people say, okay, well, that's in the ballpark. That's what I need to make. Where do you go from here? Well, let's say of these 12, 8 of them do nothing, and only 4 of them go get their 6. So guys, we have 24 people now on our third level that each are just doing 2. And we just got a $10,000 a month raise. Guys, we're at $250,000 a year, $240,000 a year. We have not even produced an executive director. By the way, as soon as we produced 2 managing directors, that gave us a promotion to executive director. We get 6% on our first level, 4%, 2%, and then we picked up a 2% on our entire organization. All right. We actually make a little more than that, guys, because these do not include the fast start bonuses and the mentor bonuses there. Now, in our past organization, as soon as somebody hit the executive director position, which is kind of a management position, as soon as somebody in your organization hit that, you lost these other bonuses. We don't want that to happen. You still maintain those, but as soon as you roll out an executive director in your group, you become a managing executive. So we roll out 1 executive director in our organization. They have the same size group we do, and they're all just doing 2. In fact, let's say they're just doing 1. So half the production we do. Guys, our income just jumped to $27,000. Actually, looks like we would have to do 2 to reach that position. We're at $33,000. Hopefully you can see the potential here. I'm going to just erase these and just say, okay, let's just go back to where we're at today. Because, yeah, we could build that. Let's take it 6 months, a year to build. But we have no agents in our team, and we're just referring people. Guys, we had a gentleman on the call last week who found out about our program 2 weeks ago, signed up as an agent, and he has a goal to talk to 8 people a day. He's got several deals already through. He's got several in the pipe. He's excited. So guys, what if you only referred 5 over with not recruiting anybody? We're at 7,300. We're making $85,000 a year just by talking to 1 person a day and piquing their interest enough to take a look at our program. All right, give me 1 sec, guys. We're going to jump right back over to the PowerPoint. Okay, so guys, kind of wrapping up the call. I want to talk a little more about bonus pools, and then I'm going to let you go. This is probably one of the things that sets our compensation plan apart from any other company I've ever seen. Is look, we're going to go ahead and pay you the commissions on every one of your sales, but at the end of the month, 2.5% of every sale, company-wide, not just your organization, is going into a bonus pool. And if you made three sales, you get a share in that pool. And it's exciting because it's almost like free money. We had this bonus pool in our last company, and if you were sitting on 2 sales with 1 week left, you were just scratching to get 1 more so that you could get that extra check at the end of the month. Another thing that makes our company unique is the top position in the company is called partner. You reach the rank of partner, and it actually allows you to share in the revenues of the company. We've had consultants in the industry come in and look at this and just go, oh my gosh, that's incredible. We've never seen another company actually willing to open company revenues to the entire organization. Now, some of the feedback we got was, okay, but partner, it might take you a year or 2 years to hit that position. What are you going to use to motivate your reps now? Well, what if we did a fast track to partner pool? So if you reach executive director, which is that first management position, in the first 6 months, you get to participate in 50% of the total partner profit pool. This is just a promotion, and we're doing this up through the agents that sign up now through September 30th. Again, already existing agents, we let theirs start last Mondays, but I'm telling you, the race is on. We have leaders in our company right now who have, again, 10, 20, 30 agents committed to this fast track pool. And guys, I'm going to tell you, when you hit that, it's an exciting check you get at the end of the month. But how do you get there? How do we get to executive director? Obviously, everybody starts out as an agent, recruit 3 agents, and you get that promotion to supervisor. Recruit 3 more agents, you become a director. By by getting 2 directors underneath you. So just finding 2 people who go get 6, you become a managing director. And just finding 2 managing directors gets you that executive director position. Okay, that gives you 50% access to 50% of the executive director pool. That comes in a check every month at the end of the month. As soon as you get a promotion to managing executive, you get another 10% of that pool. And guys, every promotion that you receive up until you hit partner, you access another 10% of that partner pool. And guys, 20% of that pool is strictly reserved for partners, so they get to share in the entire partner pool. Guys, I know if you're seeing this for the first time, it might feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose. All right, we threw a ton of information at you. Get with the person who invited you on the call. They can answer any questions you have about compensation, about the program. If you're not on the program yourself, get on the program. Get on the Worth account. I'm telling you, it will change your life. Now, to become an agent with our company, you pay $149, but we're actually running another promotion right now where if you turn in a sale, in other words, if one of your referrals buys the program within your first 30 days of becoming an agent, not only do we pay you the commission on that deal, but we will go ahead and pay you back the $149. We'll refund your enrollment. Again, another first in the industry. So, guys, we have a training call we'd love to invite you on. If you're contemplating becoming an agent, log on tomorrow night to an agent training call. Get with the person who invited you down here. They can give you the link to the webinar. We do them every Thursday night. We do these Wednesday night calls as well to show the opportunity. We always cap them right at an hour. We realize we have people on the East Coast where it's starting to get a little late, but guys, that's the Worth opportunity. I'm telling you, we've already built this thing once, and the economy changed, and lines of credit went away, and we spent a couple years getting the software up to where it needed to be, and we're going to do it again. We already know it's going to happen. And so you can kind of sit and watch it happen, or you can jump on board and kind of jump on this rocket ship with us. And listen, again, my name is Jason Brown. I sure appreciate everybody's time on the phone today. Have a great night. I'm actually going to turn the time back over to Spence just to finish up the call. And thanks again for having me on the call. Spence, are you there?
I am, Jason. Thank you so very much for a great presentation this evening. And again, with Jason, I want to thank all of you for joining us this evening. We hope that this has been worthwhile and valuable, especially to those of you who are hearing this for the very first time. Let me just finish 2 thoughts that I have as Jason finishes up. First, the Worth account is a tool that is necessary in over 110 million homes in the United States. People need to get out of debt. The economy is always a struggle, and we have a solution that will help families get control of their own personal economy. Everybody should be on this account. Your market opportunity is enormous. And as you consider the size of the market opportunity of people that you can share this tool with, you have an incredible opportunity to be able to make an excellent income as you introduce people to the Worth account. And the beauty of it is we'll do the selling for you. You just make the introductions. So again, thank you all for joining us. If you're a prospective agent, please sign your agreement and join us. We'd love to have you and look forward to having those of you who are ready to join us tomorrow night on our training call tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. That is Mountain Daylight Time, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.